السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أجمعين، وأفضل تابع التابعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. SubhanAllah, something I've been wanting to talk about for a little bit, but I've just kind of been delaying and putting off. And it's ironic when you think about the subject matter is death. And I know it's even in today's day and age where we're almost completely constantly surrounded by it, it still feels a little taboo to talk about death, to address the one thing that we know for sure that every single one of us is going to experience. But why? See, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings up death in the Quran, He brings it up on multiple instances, but perhaps one of the most powerful examples is in Surah Al-Mu'minun, where in the end of the first page of Surah Al-Mu'minun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the process of embryology, the development of a baby inside of a human being. And He describes it in intricate detail and a way so miraculous only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could do so in the Quran. And right after He describes this process of embryology, this complex process of the start of life, He says in the ayah immediately following that, ثُمَّ إِنَّكُمْ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ لَمَيِّتُونَ. And then after that, you are dead. But think about what that means in that moment. Like this whole process of embryology, and then you're dead. See, we hear so many metaphors about that. Like one of the ones that I've heard before was when you are born, an adhan is made into your ear, but no prayer is made. And when you die, a prayer is made on your body, but no adhan is made. The adhan for your birth is that, the adhan at your birth is the adhan for the prayer of your death. That's how short life is. So we're all going to experience it. We all know that it's coming. But somehow we avoid the subject and we avoid the topic even so. But the truth is, our entire lives as a Muslim, your entire life is essentially a preparation for that moment that you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what have we done for that so far? Is that why the subject is so taboo to us? Why we feel so scared and ashamed and fearful of this topic that we all know we're going to have to deal with sooner or later? The truth is, at the end of the day, we are people who rely on the fact that we feel like we're going to live forever. And in some ways, that's okay. In the pursuits in your life that are meaningful, you should pursue them as if you're going to live forever. But what about the pursuits of your life that are for what really matters? For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where do those pursuits go? How much time do we put into those pursuits? كُن فِي الدُّنْيَا كَعَابِرِ سَبِيلٍ. The Prophet ﷺ said, be in this world as someone who is crossing or going over a path, going over a road. You're just here temporarily, you're passing by, and then you're going to go home. And at the end of the day, we really have nothing else but that. Harun al-Rashid was one of the Khalifas of the Muslims, one of the leaders of the Muslims after the Prophet ﷺ. In fact, he was the great-grandson of the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ. And while many things were known about him, that he was a righteous and just leader, it was also known that he was very wealthy. One time Harun al-Rashid left into the desert, was going on basically a tour of the city with his entourage and his army. And he passed by a graveyard. And inside of this graveyard was a man not known in history by anything but the word Bahlul. And Bahlul essentially means like a crazy person or somebody who's mentally ill. And this mentally ill person calls out to him and he says, Ya Harun, Ya Maftoon, Ya Majnoon. He says, Oh Harun, oh crazy person. Oh person who has surrounded themselves with things that are going to doom them. So Harun al-Rashid stops. Of course, seeing this crazy person make fun of him, he laughs and he says, "Ana al-majnoon am ant?" Are I the crazy person or are you? Then the crazy person, the bahlul, he says, "Bal ant." No, you are. Why? He says, because of me, I built up my grave and I forgot here. I forgot this world. I kind of left it. I'm known as the crazy person. But you built up your castle and you forgot your grave. So you're afraid of moving from what you've built to the thing that you destroyed. Now, for how many of us is that the example? That we've built ourselves up in this world and left a path of destruction behind us in the next? For how many of us is death such a dreaded topic because we know we're going to move from what we've built into something of destruction? The truth is, we all know where we're going to go at the end of the day. We all know we're going into that grave. That 6 feet under is the one height that we all share. So why don't we build it up more? Why not move, not from a place of ruin? We do not have to live in a place of ruin here in this life at all. But from a place we've built up to a place we've built up even more. Let our deaths at the end of our lives be a compensation for everything we've put forward, just like studying for an exam or working very hard on a project. So that moment that you hit submit, that moment that you finish, the moment that you lay the last brick is a moment of sweetness because you know you're finally going to be paid off for what you've put forth by the most generous, Azza wa Jal. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst those who are ready for their deaths, amongst those who meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Day of Judgment, and they stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a nafs al-mutma'innah, the soul that is comforted and confident in what it has put forth for Allah Azza wa Jal, and that we all enter Jannah without any single test or any single munaqashati hisab, or without any single asking or trial in front of Allah Azza wa Jal. جزاكم الله خيرا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر جزاكم الله خيرا